Hello there, and welcome again to Renewed Faith Devotions as we reflect on the great influences of the faith. We turn now our attention to the writer of the Gospel of Mark, and the first time he is mentioned is in the book of Acts chapter 12, and I read from verse 1. Now, about that time, Herod the king stretched out his hand to harass some of the church. Then he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword. And he saw that it pleased the Jews, and proceeded further to seize Peter also. Now it was during the days of unleavened bread. So when he had him arrested, he put him in prison, and delivered him to 4 squads of soldiers to keep him, intending to bring him before the people after Passover. Peter was therefore kept in prison, but constant prayer was offered to God for him by the church. And when Herod was about to bring him out, that night Peter was sleeping, bound with 2 chains between 2 soldiers, and the guards before the door were keeping the prison. Now, behold, an angel of the Lord stood by him, and a light shone in the prison. And he struck Peter on the side and raised him up, saying, "Arise quickly." And his chains fell off his hands. Then the angel said to him, "Gird yourself and tie on your sandals." And so he did. And he said to him, "Put on your garment and follow me." So he went out and followed him, and did not know that what was done by the angel was real, but thought he was seeing a vision. When they were past the first and second guard posts, they came to the iron gate that leads to the city, which opened to them of its own accord, and then went out and went down one street, and immediately the angel departed from him. And when Peter had come to himself, he said, "Now I know for certain that the Lord has sent his angel, and has delivered me from the hand of Herod, and from all the expectation of the Jewish people." So when he had considered this, he came to the house of Mary, the mother of John, whose surname was Mark, where many were gathered together praying. And as Peter knocked at the door of the gate, a girl named Rhoda came to answer. When she recognized Peter's voice, because of her gladness, she did not open the gate, but ran in and announced that Peter stood before the gate. But they said to her, "You are beside yourself." Yet she kept insisting that it was so. So they said, "It is his angel." Now Peter continued knocking, and when they opened the door and saw him, they were astonished. John Mark was a relative of Barnabas and the son of Mary, at whose home some of the early Christians met. It's generally thought that Mary was a fairly wealthy widow, wealthy enough to have at least 1 servant and a house large enough to accommodate a group of praying Christians. Now, the early Christians seem to have met in a number of different homes, those associated with James apparently meeting in another place. When King Herod imprisoned Peter, the early Christians met in this house to pray for his release. God answered their prayer, and upon being given his freedom, Peter made his way to Mary's home, where he knew his fellow Christians would be gathered. Mark, it would appear, had the priceless blessing of a praying mother as he embarked upon a Christian life of service. As we think about it, the influences that flow from a home that is dedicated to prayer are beyond all telling. Prayer meetings in Mary's house not only brought release to Peter, but it laid a solid understanding of God's presence and power in the heart of John Mark, as he later wrote the Gospel. And so the question is this: is your house a house of prayer?